you tell us about that $45 million property?
Yeah, that was an interesting sale.
I walked into this house, and I'm not joking you, I knew immediately. It was like putting on a wedding dress. I was like holding Joe's hand, and he was like, Amy, remain calm. Do not show any emotion.
Poker face. An emotional buy is when, let's just like this house. You walk in, this is an emotional reaction. This is a wow house. You walk in and everything is so well done. You have the view.
Welcome to the Amy Plus podcast. Today, we're doing things meaningfully different. My husband, Joe, and I built a home from the ground up and are bringing it to market for $21,995,000. Instead of just talking about the finished product, we're pulling back the curtain on how this house came to life, building a dream team, and bringing a husband and wife vision to reality. And when it came for the most important and final decision, we interviewed several top realtors and ultimately chose John Stanaland, known for his record-breaking sales, including a $45 million transaction that became the highest sell in all Newport Coast history. So without further ado, welcome to my home, John.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you here.
Very glad to be here.
The first thing I was going to say was we interviewed 4 real estate agents and really had a good time talking with all of them. It was Paul Jaftarian,
yeah.
Tim Smith,
Yes,
Jason Oppenheimer, and you. And we just want to say, even though they gave us all amazing ideas, we are truly honored to have picked you.
I appreciate it and very much looking forward to working with you and all good agents as well. Mm-hmm. Good agents, we all offer a little something different the way we market and the way we work.
Yeah.
But all good options.
Yes. I took away something from all of them.
Yes.
So I was very impressed. They were all recommended. You know, we also live in Texas, so we're not that familiar with all the real estate agents. So, but, you know, at the end of the day, you were it.
Well, I agree with your choice.
So before we dive into this house, all the things behind the scenes and the details, could you just give a quick smidget of your career highlights?
Yeah, so this is my 29th year in the business. I come from a 100-year line of developers, brokers, did a lot of Laguna Beach, San Juan, Arizona, San Diego. My career sales are right about $5 billion. I don't work with a giant team. I don't have a 30, 40, 50 person team. I typically work with 6, 7 people and kind of reference us as an elite strike force team. We do the business of a large team. I'm fortunate enough to have records in pretty much every city locally, South Orange County. I'm the former corporate broker for the Montage, Laguna Beach. There's 27 properties there. I've sold 21 of them, some of them 2 and 3 times. Been fortunate enough throughout my career to represent a lot of the high end, the coastal, and still love what I do.
Well, can you tell us about that $45 million property?
Yeah, that was an interesting sale. That was 1 Pelican Hill Road North. It was originally purchased. Well, I'm sorry, it wasn't originally purchased. It was originally done by a developer who had a pretty substantial amount of money into it and wound up losing it to auction. And it sold at auction for $18 plus a 10% premium. The gentleman who bought it spent about $10 million finishing it. He then put another $10 million in furniture into it, so you're already up in the 40 range. He then passed away, and I went to his daughter, who I sold it for. And when she engaged me, she'd interviewed quite a few different agents, and most of the agents said, "You're 25 million, 30 if you get lucky." I looked at it and knew it was going to be a record. I knew it would go for 45. That was my number. Recommended we list at 50. We put it at 55. And 7 months later, we sold it for 45. And it was a Chinese gentleman, great buyer, very nice guy, came in and we did he looked at it a few times, but when it finally came down to do the deal, we did a 4-day escrow. He called me up or his people called me up on a Sunday and said, "Hey, flying in Thursday, if you can have the property under contract and closed by next Thursday, I'll buy it. If it goes to Friday, I'm not buying it." I said, "Okay, let me send you a purchase contract." And sent him a purchase contract. And before it was even, he signed it, before it was signed by the seller, he'd already wired money over. and we wound up getting it closed. We actually had a title issue, which was interesting. But he flew in on Thursday. We got the title issue cleared up. I picked him up in LA, brought him back to escrow, signed everything, closed, done, $45 million.
Wow. And I looked it up. It was in 2017?
Yeah, so in 2017, that was actually the county high. So it was the county and Newport Coast. Since then, there's been higher sales. Newport Coast has had a 55, a 61, some bigger sales.
Well, that was quite a long time ago. So
Yeah. And there was a 70 million that happened in Irvine Cove a couple of years ago as well.
Okay, so then back to your firm, your partner Logan.
Yes.
Love him.
Logan's great.
And then is it your two sons?
So one of my sons is with me, Tyler. My other son has been with me. He's recently gone off and works for a different brokerage.
Okay.
He wanted to do his own thing.
Well, Tyler, of course, I've watched Selling OC. This house was on the show.
Right.
And it was featured as a home, and it was nice to meet their team and stuff. You would think it was like a big ordeal, but it was actually quite entertaining. There wasn't that many people in here. They just took up the garage mainly. And Jason obviously was here and touring the house with architect and designer. And Alex Hall was the main real estate agent during that tour. But of course, that's who I don't keep up with, honestly, a lot of drama or things on TV. But I know that they dated on the show.
On the show, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, quite a few of the listings they actually used on the show were my listings throughout the course.
Yeah.
So I'm familiar with the way it all works. And
well, our house technically was not on the market.
Yeah.
I mean, I figured that's a lot of times how the show is. People don't realize that, but they just want to show off, which, to be honest, I don't blame them.
And your house is spectacular.
Thank you. This is your first time here.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm blown away.
Yeah. So then Tyler's not with Oppenheimer. He's with you.
Yeah. Tyler went to Oppenheim to do the show. So he did the first 3 seasons, came back, and then he did the 4th season from my team.
Okay. Yeah. I watched that last season.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought he left Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
At the time, thinking about watching that show, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Now you're sitting here in front of me.
Small world.
But so a lot of times I do podcast fashionistas and people in the luxury space, but I do have a real estate fashion question.
Please.
The ladies that you see on these shows, because I watch Selling OC and Selling Sunsets.
Right.
I don't really watch a whole lot of reality TV, but those two, I mean, if your house is on a show, you have to watch them. But the question is, the attire that the women are wearing are like, obviously the silhouette dresses, tight, and the 6-8 inch heels. In the real estate business, and you're showing homes, is that typical?
Is it reality? No
Yes.
pun intended? No.
Okay.
I mean, not really. I mean, some people dress like that, but I mean, it's really not super functional for showing property.
So that's for just the show too?
I mean, to a certain degree, yes.
Because my husband and I, we've looked a lot of real estate. I personally have never seen real estate agents, dressed with the tighter looks. I mean, some of them look amazing. Don't get me wrong. I love fashion. I think that's great for them. I just personally wanted to know, is that realistic?
I mean, I shouldn't say no. I mean, I'm going to say kind of case by case, but for the most part, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I mean,
so this is so funny. All my guests, I ask this. Speaking of fashion, since it came up, John, what's your fit today?
Gosh, I'm almost afraid to try to answer that. I think we're Ferragamo shoes, we're Canali jacket, and I think we're frame jeans.
And what about that watch?
The watch is Breitling. Huge
Very
Breitling
nice.
fan. Thank you.
Are you a watch collector?
No, I just like Breitling.
Okay.
Big fan.
How many watches do you own?
Believe it or not, only a few.
So my husband owns actually 2 watches, an Apple Watch and a Rolex. And he's like, I don't want any more watches. I'm in love with it, and this is all I want.
Yeah. So I love a good watch. I love a Breitling, but I don't have tons of watches. Mm-hmm. In fact, when I bought this one, which was not too long ago, I actually traded 2 of my other Breitlings in as part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a little reward for yourself. If you get another $45 million sale, I think you should buy yourself another watch.
Yeah. You know what? I like this one.
But no, you obviously look great.
Thank you.
I love that you wear the blazer and You have that appearance and
Pretty much my whole career, I've
Yeah.
always been jeans, polo, and I love the blazer.
yeah, I bet you have a ton of them.
I have about 7 blazers. I have 3 I like.
Okay. So do you rewear them all the time?
I try not to, but yes. Yes, I do.
So I do want to get into all the things. I wanted to give you a little backstory that I don't even think I've told you yet on this house situation. So Joe and I have been married for, well, when this podcast comes out, probably 12 years. And in that time, I counted it this morning getting ready for this podcast and remodeled 8 places in 12 years. So this one that we're putting on the market would be the 8th one. And then before that, they were homes and some apartments and condos along the way. And what happened was, it obviously becomes a lot to deal with. It was a lot of it was work related. One of them was health related because I had some health issues, and we had an apartment close to Dallas. We live in Fort Worth, so we got an apartment. Of course, I made it so cute. And then Joe's job, several apartments and condos in Silicon Valley or San Francisco area. So that happened. And then we were like, okay, we want our 2 dream homes. And so we built the house in Texas, waterfront home, and then finished this house. So you can imagine that was a lot over the years of remodeling. So I was like, we lived here for a couple years, and I was missing it so bad, John. It's so fun. I love design. I love the whole process. Well, I was like, how do I make this Joe's idea? How do I plant this seed? So we were on a walk one day, and I just said to him, if the property was right, would you be okay us buying it and either building it for ourselves because we have an extended family and a lot of friends. The kids are already going to, have started to have kids themselves. Buy it, build it, buy it for ourselves. And if not, we could sell it. And he was like, yeah, maybe, but years down the line. And then, no joke, about 2 months after that, Chris Light gives him a call and says, I have a property off of Ocean Boulevard, and it's already passed approval. So we didn't have to go through any of that.
Which is huge.
Mm-hmm. It was amazing. And Joe was very intrigued. And he said, if we ever do it, we're only doing waterfront. Like, we're not going to do anything else besides waterfront homes if we go down this route for ourselves or to sell.
Right.
So what had happened was Chris Light, who we will talk about, who is probably the most prominent architect in Orange County.
Oh, by far.
Yeah.
Chris is great.
It was him and his brother, and I think there was maybe 8 people total that owned this property. Well, none of them were moving forward with it. I don't know if a lot of them didn't have the money at the time, or it was just sitting there with approval. And so my husband and I basically bought, we bought it, and then we moved forward. Or we partnered with Chris and his brother Jim, and here we are sitting here 2 years later. And after a lot of thought, we've decided to put it on the market, which is where you come in.
Right.
In this market, do you see husband and wives selling homes?
Yes, but not to the degree that you've built up there. Although you are going to be selling it, it's certainly not done as a spec house. It looks like a forever home, very tastefully and very, very high end, which you don't typically find in resale specs.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question was when you walked in the house, you knew obviously Chris Light was a part of it. Right. Oh, and Jeffrey Maynard, love him. And then you walked in, and then there's 2 people named, Amy and Joe part of this. Like, did you expect to see what you saw?
No, very blown away by what the property actually is. And I've done a lot of Chris Light sales and Jeff Maynard as well. So I know they always do high end, but this one definitely is above most of what you see. Even the one we just sold for a record at 433, I think it's 433 Harbor Island Drive last year for $17 million. Previous high was 14. That was a Chris Light remodel and a Jeffrey Maynard. And it was done, not to the same magnitude you've done Ocean, but it was done very well and very Chris Light, very Jeff. Mm-hmm. And the premium, I think, had a lot to do with their design.
Yeah, I'm always curious, like, what the 4 realtors thought before they came into the house. Like, everyone has a number in mind.
Right.
Right. Do you know what yours was?
Before I came in,
Mm-hmm.
it was lower than my final number.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finally went in, though, and took a look, I mean, it all made sense. I mean, I have records in most of the cities, and a lot of them are Chris Lights.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting, you know, some realtors or a lot of realtors will go just price per square foot, which is a terrible way to go on the high end and the high end and oceanfront market, because there's such a difference in what things sell for, and you have to take into consideration new versus remodeled, brand new construction, you know, quality, floor plan view, all of it. And you know, you can take a look at a property and get a pretty good idea of where something will sell, or some of us can anyways.
Yeah.
It was like the 45 million. I knew it would go for 45 million. Had a couple of the records in the Strand initially. Both were Chris Lights, and the first one was 14 million, you know, way back when, and I knew it would go for 14. We sold it. And then there was one 2 doors down, which again, the previous high was 14. You know, 8 or 9 months later, we sold it for 22 million. It was Chris Light.
Mm-hmm.
And you just, you know, take a look at it and know it was going to go for that range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to ask, like, the architectural integrity, how much does that affect the luxury home space?
Well, I think a lot. I mean, one, you know, you have a Chris Light that's a proven track record, and you take a look at a lot of the, you know, record sales that are Chris Lights. I mean, he has a certain pedigree from just his style, his design, and you know, he doesn't skimp on anything he does. I mean, we had another record sale in Cameo Highlands a couple of years ago, which was 4,700 Surrey, which the previous high was 10 million, and we sold it for 20 million in Chris Light remodel, and then it retraded last year for 24. Chris Light, I mean, just he carries a lot of weight.
Yeah, his name is so well known.
It is.
And he's the nicest guy.
Nicest guy. I sat with a dinner a couple nights ago with him for 3 hours. Great. Fun to talk to.
He comes to all of our Christmas parties, and he's, well, you can imagine, he's like the life of the party.
He's funny. As I mentioned, I'm a former corporate broker for the Montage, and there's 14 residential lots. One sits on a double, so there's actually 13 legal lots, 12 built homes, 1 vacant lot, and I think Chris has done 7 or 8 of the homes there.
Really?
He's just great.
Yeah, and he loves it. It's interesting because if you ask him, he's like, why retire? This is what I do, what I love.
Had this conversation with him the other night. Exact conversation.
You know, he was telling me, this was years ago when we first met him, that he's the one that came up with the sliding open door oceanfront, or the concept of the sliders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, very, very Hawaii style.
Mm-hmm.
That indoor-outdoor.
Yeah, that must have been, what, 20 years ago that started?
Yeah. Yeah, sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Feels about right.
Yeah, when we bought this house, it was so choppy, but I love the open concept.
I remember I had the house next door listed, and I watched the whole, or I shouldn't say the whole. I watched quite a bit of the construction you guys had going on.
This house next door.
Yes.
You know, since we've lived here, I think it's gone through 3 owners since we've lived here.
Yeah.
One after another.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I've been in the home, and it just I think people have trouble, like, structurally remodeling it. Is what the feedback that I've gotten.
That, in my opinion, would be accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Great site, though.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah.
And then the structure on the bottom. I mean, have you got feedback on that? Like underneath the deck, have people like, oh, that looks too scary to buy?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a few years ago, obviously, but yeah, there was some pushback on that lower deck.
Okay. I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. If I was in love with the home, I'd be like,
It's buyer dependent. I mean, some of the buyers have an issue with cliffside, and some do not.
John, that's so funny you say that, because I do social media, so like I are influencing and things, and I'll put something on like a TikTok, or it's usually TikTok, and they're like, of this house, and they're like, I can't believe you wasted your money. Your house is gonna fall off the cliff. And global warming, this and that. I just laugh because I'm just like,
this house is going nowhere.
Nowhere. This thing is so sturdy.
This is going nowhere, and even if, let's just say, I'm just going to say, even if global warming was a thing, if the seas rose, look how high above the seas you are.
I mean, you know what? Sometimes I can't help it. I'll respond, and I'll just say, I'll take my chances.
Yeah, I think you'll be okay. I think you'll be okay.
Oh my gosh, John, I forgot to say what I was wearing. I know you don't care,
Well,
but I'm
we
always
need
into
to
like the
know.
fashion stuff. I have to say for every guest. So these are Alice Olivia maroon pants, Valentino shoes. This is the La Pointe shiny cape, which I love, but it's kind of hot in here, but it's good. And then I just threw my diamonds on because we were going to talk
21,995
home. So I had to support the look.
You look good.
Thank you. So, also when I was getting ready for this podcast, I was writing some questions down, and I was upstairs in my room and I was looking at the water, and I wrote the words for the first time, 21,995,000. Totally teared up. I was like, I can't believe we are going to have a house on the market for that price. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But you have those pinch me moments.
It's a very special home. Obviously, you're very talented in what you do, and I'm sitting in a home that is very well done. And I think you've taken that to that property as well. And what we find in our market, and what I find in our market, is people do pay for quality. They pay for done and super high end. And as I mentioned, a lot of the records I have in different areas here have been Chris Lights, and they have that kind of wow factor where people walk in and they have an emotional reaction, and they pay an emotional price. And it's not based on square footage or what the neighbor's house sold for. Here's the price, and they pay for it.
You know that when we first started this project, I really pretty much knew that it would be put up for about that price.
Yeah,
Joe thought I was like, wow, like that you're really proud of yourself. I'm like, watch, it's gonna be.
Oh, it'll sell.
I know.
Yeah.
Super excited.
Yeah, I called the price on Harbor Island. I knew that would sell for 17. The Strand, I knew that was a 22 back when that sold. I knew that was a 45. The Montage sales, we sold one there for a record a couple years ago at 30, 31 too. Knew it would sell at 31. I mean, usually pretty good on pricing.
So when I first met you, and I was thinking about what's one word that described you the first time I met you, that was confidence.
Oh, thank you.
And you're very confident on your pricing.
Thank you.
And, when we talked to you after we talked to the other realtors and kind of circled back, I think Joe was like, wasn't sure if you were still, pretty confident on the number. I'm like, oh, watch, he's going to be very confident on that number.
Yeah, I don't give numbers just to give numbers. If I see something and think it's going to sell at a price, that's the price I give. Doesn't mean if somebody wants to try a higher number, I won't try a higher number, which happens often, but I'm usually pretty accurate on pricing. And then on the flip side, when somebody puts something on the market and some agents don't see the value or can't really substantiate it in their mind, it doesn't detour me whatsoever. I'm very confident in what something will sell for.
So can you expand on an emotional buy?
An emotional buy is when, let's just like this house. You walk in, this is an emotional reaction. This is a wow house. You walk in and everything is so well done. You have the view. It's just done. It's like it's like a piece of art. You walk in and you're wowed by it. And it's just like if you go see the new shiny car, the earrings, the dress, whatever it is, if somebody has an emotional connection to it, they'll pay the price, not necessarily tear it apart and try to figure out why it's not worth that.
Mm-hmm. So also, I guess this is a good time to talk about square footage, because that's another area that we completely agree on. I always feel like luxury real estate, if you're trying to do times square foot, that's not viable.
So some agents, that's really what they rely on, is price per square foot, which works great if you're in a tract. I'm going to say if you're in a tract with condos or, not here. When you go to the high-end luxury, and particularly the oceanfront market, you can have a property that sells at $3,000 a square foot, and the next door neighbor sells at 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. So price per square foot, in my opinion, luxury space is not a great way to gauge property.
Yeah, because this home, for example, if you have someone walking through and you're showing them, this is how much it's going to cost you, and this is how much time it would take you.
Well, your lot today in that property is north of $10 million. The lot. Take a look at what your build to build that same quality is north of $2,000 a square foot. You're already over your list price, and not to mention 5 years of your time. If you're inland 10 or 20 miles and it's a condo complex, you're worth what your neighbor sold for, essentially. Along the coast here, it's so different because you can have a property that sells for $3,000 a square foot, and 100 yards down the way, you can have something that sells for 7, 8, 9,000. I mean, we just sold one in Emerald Bay for $7,000 a square foot for 2,200 square feet, and it's teardown.
Say that again.
We just sold a 2,200 square foot house for $15 million, which was
What neighborhood?
Emerald Bay.
Oh, Emerald Bay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Was it pretty close to the water?
Yeah, pretty close, but I mean, not oceanfront. So
Yeah.
2,200 square feet for $15 million. It was $7,000 a square foot.
And can they make that house a lot bigger with all the rules?
Yeah, I mean, they can scrape it and probably build back I think 5,000, 5,500.
Mm-hmm. That's a big question, the buyer would have.
Yeah.
I saw that house. It's like, it was tiny.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Cool spot.
Yeah,
Cool spot.
I think you sent it to me.
Probably.
When we were interviewing you.
Probably.
During that process.
Yeah, the house a couple doors over that Fertitta bought sold for $43,500 about 4 years ago, and that was only 4,900 square feet on a smaller lot.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's funny because yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna catch. I mean, so that was only 4,900 square feet, and sold for $44 million. So you can do the math. What is it? 9,000, 10,000 a square foot.
Yeah, that's definitely breaking some records. But like we said, I think nobody wants to deal with the time and the money. Just like that's a lot of checks you're writing along the way.
Well, also it's, can you get it done? So it's 5 years of your life, and do you go with an architect who can actually get it approved, or even, I mean, do you have enough opposition that it takes you 3 or 4 years to get a permit, and then you're a 2-year build? Mm-hmm. So I mean, there's no guarantee you'll have it done in 4 or 5 years either.
Yeah, I have an very emotional connection with this house. Like, I can't imagine. I kind of want to put a Ring camera. Not that I would do that. Be like, who's looking at the house? Are you worthy of this? So in Orange County, are there mainly big companies that buy homes and flip them?
I mean, it's case by case. I mean, there's developers who, I mean, that's what they do, is their business. I wouldn't necessarily say big companies, but I say there are developers and builders who do a lot of them.
It's Patterson is one of them.
Patterson, right? He does a lot.
I see his name everywhere.
Patterson does a lot. Burkhart does a lot. So
about how many projects do they have at once?
That I really don't know.
I'd be so curious to know.
I mean,
also would love to know what type of finishes and stuff they pick.
Yeah, I mean, Patterson does a great job. I mean, in my opinion, not as high end as what you and Joe have done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to go look at his homes. I did look it up on the internet, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, they're nice. I mean, they're mm-hmm. well done.
So, I was going to tell you a little backstory of how I got into this. Funny enough, when Joe and I met, I was an athletic director.
Wow.
And so you see, I'm very tall. I'm 6 foot. Actually, I got measured the other day at the doctor, and I was 6'1.5". So I was like, when did I get the half? I thought you were supposed to shrink the older you got. But anyway, so we met, and I was obviously very into sports and things. But my mom was really into home design. She was very good at it. So I think obviously that's where I kind of picked it up. But when we were engaged, and I was working a lot, when you're an athletic director, you're working a lot of evenings.
Right.
You have to go to a lot of games, a lot of meetings. You have to hire all the coaches, all the things. And I would be in my office on my computer picking out tile and the wall coverings, and I told him I can't do this anymore. It wasn't fair to my job because my passion was just changing immediately into home design.
Well, you have a talent for it. I mean, obviously.
Thank you. The first home that we did was a very, very nice lake house right on the water in Fort Worth. And I didn't use a designer. I did the whole thing. And that really, really helped me learn a lot. So I went to pick out all the stone. I went to anything and all that you can think of. I did it all. Literally didn't even have any help. And my contractor, obviously, it was just me and him. And that home turned out really nice. And I think we ended up selling it, of course, for a record in the neighborhood, and then bought the house that we have now. And, same thing, all record sales.
I was going to say, and probably not price per square foot.
No, not even close. Yeah. So, and then I'm like, these neighbors should thank us.
Yeah.
When this house breaks another record, all the neighbors are going to be happy about it.
Oh, it will. It will break a record.
So question, what type of buyer do you think it'll be?
You know, it's interesting. I mean, our primary buyer pool tends to be local Texas, Vegas, Arizona, and LA. But what is additionally interesting is a good majority of that buyer pool is already in the market from they have a second home, third home, whatever it is. Uh, a lot of the buyers tend to come from pretty close proximity. So as far as the buyer itself, I mean, it may be a single person, it may be a couple, it may be a family. I mean, the way you've done that house, it lends itself to a wide range of buyers. I mean, great second home, great primary.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, another interesting fact about this home is I personally was insistent that we finished it out.
Yeah.
And I do remember I got a little pushback for that because, it's like, well, what if somebody's walking down the street and they offer you this and that gives them a chance to pick out the stone they want, the wood they want, da, da, da. I'm like, but that takes away the fun and the point of it, and we could get way more money if we wait.
Yeah. So I have this conversation all the time with builders and people who are going to put something on the market, whether it's spec or not. You're always going to do better finishing it. A lot of buyers just don't have that vision of the finished product, and you also don't get that emotional aspect connection that you want for a buyer to pay the price.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's done and they can pick everything out, or I'm sorry, when it's not done, they can pick everything out. It sounds great in theory, but you're almost always going to sell at a semi-discount compared to what you'd get finishing.
Oh yeah, this house would have definitely not sold. And plus, we weren't sure what we were going to do. Obviously buy the house, so we, designed it like it was ours.
Right.
One of the features that I really, really love about this house is the jacuzzi that we put up top. Can't remember the name of the brand, but it's like a German brand or something that's not used in the U.S.
Well, it's very cool. That rooftop.
I can't wait for you to see it. Yeah. The actual jacuzzi itself.
Yeah, I meant the rooftop deck and the position.
Oh, yeah, that
phenomenal.
Whole thing. Yeah. So is that what you show buyers first or last?
It depends on the buyer. I mean, I always love to show a view first. I do, but it also depends on where the buyers kind of migrate to as they come in. And some buyers want an actual tour, and some want to tour themselves. So kind of read it case by case.
Oh, really? They want to tour it themselves?
Sometimes.
Interesting.
Sometimes they want the space. I mean, I prefer to give the tour, but sometimes the buyers just want to take it in.
When Joe and I looked for like a year and a half for till we bought this house, and now that I think about it, that did happen a few times, and I always thought the realtor didn't really know anything about the house.
That you do run into that as well. But like I said, I like to give a tour, but sometimes buyers do actually want to take the time themselves. And
I would do that like the second time. Like, okay, thank you, and then now give us some space.
Yeah.
So this house is a funny story. We looked for a very long time, just like we looked for a realtor for a long time. I think it's just when it comes to important decisions, you should take your time.
Yes.
And not just be like, oh, well, here's a good realtor, use him, and then you call them up and hire them. But this house, when we saw hundreds of homes, hundreds in a year and a half, because we were looking in Malibu all the way to La Jolla. And we definitely wanted oceanfront, definitely wanted a gated community, and no path in front of you. So that knocks out a lot, especially the no path in front of you.
Right.
Because there's a lot of homes that
Strand
and all
Ritz
that.
Cove, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Joe and I walked into this house, and the real estate agent didn't show us this house. So we used the same real estate agent for this year and a half. She didn't send us this house.
Oh.
And we don't know if it was maybe because the price was below our budget, or
Oversized.
she said, well, the house looked like a ship on the water. That's because it was rounded back then.
But it's on the water.
So we ended up, I found this house on Zillow. And at the time we were in San Francisco, and I'm like, Joe, we have to go look at this house now, because I do have a talent to visualize things,
right.
And most buyers don't.
They
can't walk into a home and be like, this could be ...
No question.
And so we walked into this house, and I'm not joking you, I knew immediately. It was like putting on a wedding dress. I was like holding Joe's hand, and he was like, Amy, remain calm. Do not show any emotion.
Poker face.
Yeah, I bet you have to do that with sometimes with the clients.
Often.
So what happened was we did our tour with a real estate agent. And then they're like, well, you should go check out the beach. So we walked down the beach. Of course, we were by ourselves. Finally got to where nobody could hear us. And I was all, holy cow, I cannot believe this property. I can't believe the price. I can't believe it's it's double lot.
Yeah.
It has all this potential. And we were both like, are you kidding me? And then, we had to come in and pretend.
It was a very good buy, but what you've done with it is phenomenal.
Thank you.
I mean, this is very, very high-end, top of the line.
Yeah, Chris Light, we immediately hired him right after buying it. And
Wise.
and we were like, we're trying to figure it out. Like, we obviously wanted to look different, remodel it. And I remember we were asking him exactly how much should we tear down or something. He goes, you need all of it. We were going to stay to the studs. And right when he said that, like, the vision was like, okay, we're doing it.
Well, if you tore it down, you would have lost a lot of square footage.
Yeah, totally. But I really enjoy working with Jeffrey Maynard.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we work with, this is Frank Berry. Have you sold any of his houses?
I have not sold any of Frank's.
Okay. I think he does quite a lot in Emerald Bay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He read that one of his houses was the record. Ocean, so right in the front, but there was a walkway right before the beach.
Oh, that's the 43.5.
That's the house?
Yeah, so that was Chris Light.
Mm-hmm. That's a Frank Berry.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
interior, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4,900 square feet, smaller
Mm-hmm.
lot.
I was like blown away when it sold for that.
Where Fertitta bought it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Walked next door and bought it.
okay. It's like that.
It's like that.
So let's talk about staging.
Yes.
I do like the Orange County staging companies. It's not like I don't like them, and I'm sure they're lovely to work with. But
They're good.
yeah, I just was for this home, to put the price that we wanted on it. I just saw the buyer doing a turnkey situation, maybe a buyer from LA or
Right.
Vegas or whatever, and I just thought the higher end quality would be better. And we are looking into using a company out of LA. What's
Vesta.
And Vesta used to be part of Beth.
Used to be part of Meredith Bear.
Yeah, that's it. Meredith Bear's company, and I think it's the nephew
I believe it's a nephew who now runs
Vesta.
Runs Vesta, which he used to run Meredith Bear.
Yes,
My understanding.
Yeah. So anyway, it's very interesting. I think it's going to really help elevate the house. I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean Meredith Bear. Her product was always absolutely top of the line, along with what you built. Vesta, I believe, is right in the same realm, and I think with what you've built there, I think it's wise. I think it just adds to it, and I think it's very important. I mean, it goes back to the buyers having vision or not having vision, and when you spend all the time and the money and go to that length to build what you've built there, and again, that was going to be your home as opposed to a spec. I think putting in absolute top of the line staging, very wise decision.
Yes, I'm excited about it. And plus the artwork, I think that's very important.
Yeah.
I'm going to try not to do like a lot of canvas art. And they mentioned they work with a company that will give you a higher end art that people can come in and turnkey that as well, for a price. But
yeah, that's my understanding as well. And I think that'll be well worth it.
The houses you sell, are they typically furnished?
Depends. I mean, particularly for anything new construction or the higher end oceanfront product, typically staged.
Okay. And do the buyers buy the furniture?
Quite often. So a lot of the higher end, the oceanfront, particularly if the furniture is done well, the buyers want it furnished. And even if they wind up switching out the furniture down the line, the ease of being able to close and move in, huge. I mean, you know what it takes to get nice furniture. It's not super quick. So a lot of times people will pay for the ease of the furniture.
Yeah, I'm hoping somebody just does that instead of like, okay, I'll just take the chair or I'll just take the table.
No, most of the time, I mean, I'd say probably on the higher end product, and particularly the newer when they're done really well, probably 80-90% of the time the furniture is negotiated.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So is there anything else about the house that stands out in your mind that you really liked?
Oh, everything. I mean, the design choices. I mean, I love the view. I love how high end it is. I love the floor plan. I mean, the kitchen. The material choices are just
That's the
phenomenal.
fun part.
Phenomenal. And the rooftop deck is killer, for lack of a better term.
One thing you haven't seen yet is the custom chandelier over the kitchen island.
Have not.
That's going to be nice. Yeah, we're getting that made. I believe he's in Orange County, putting that together. That's going to be something.
Well,
I'm obviously really into lighting. The sconce that you see over there on the kitchen island, I went to Elvis's old home in Hollywood Hills, and they took his home, and now it's basically a place just for designers to put their furniture, their lighting, and their art. And then designers can come in and bring their clients to shop. And I walked in and saw that sconce above, and that's the very first purchase of this house.
I'm a huge Elvis fan, so that's awesome.
Yes, I love it. It's spectacular. So there's a lot of purchases like that where I would go down and personally select things. The you walk through the house. Did you see the closet with the pink
Oh, yeah.
stone?
Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah,
Cool as can
that
be.
was picked way before as well.
Yeah.
It was on hold. We went to the stone place and it was on hold for some rock star.
That's what Joe mentioned.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but some rock star's wife, but it wasn't bought yet, so we bought it right then.
What's crazy is it literally looks like it was cut for that spot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it fits perfectly.
So the house, back to the house. So I really like the basement area. I don't know if that's what are we going to call it? Because it wasn't there before we just dug it out and created it.
I mean, I don't know if I'd call it basement area. I think it's the lower part of the house.
Lower part of the house.
It's bonus.
Huge.
It's huge. No, that is a great area, great entertaining area. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah. So it's got the media,
Yeah.
a huge bedroom.
Yeah.
One of the biggest rooms in the house is down there. And then one thing, of course, I was insistent about was a wine cellar.
Which is great, especially for a newer build.
Mm-hmm. And then the space down there has also got the powder bath with that fabulous wallpaper.
Oh, no, it's cool as can be.
Mm-hmm.
I love the wallpaper.
And then the flex space, which we were talking about possibly using, I don't know, the workout serenity area, wellness spot.
Yeah.
Everybody wants that.
No, the wellness is a thing right now.
Yeah. So do your buyers, do they want a gym at the house?
It depends on the buyer. I mean, it's always nice to have a home gym. Some people like a home gym and some people like to go to the gym. I mean, the nice thing about that location is you have both options and you have plenty of room if you want to do a gym. There's a couple of locations in the house, as we know.
Mm-hmm. And then let's talk about parking.
Oh, yeah, which is a rarity.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a lot of parking.
Yep, I think it holds up to 5 cars.
Which for that location is a lot.
It's a lot. Plus, you could put your golf cart. Oh, speaking of location, we were talking about the benefit of being on the north end of the street. Could you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one, I think the views are spectacular, but two, it's much more private. I mean, it's much quieter down there. I mean, it's a great area in general, but that end of the street is just a lot quieter in general. You also have a great view out the harbor.
Yeah, I love that harbor view.
Yeah.
I love taking boats out there.
Yeah.
All the time.
I go in and out of that harbor a lot.
I know. I heard you're a fisherman.
I fish a little.
Do you fish on the weekends?
No, I fish when the bluefin tuna are here, which is typically June through October.
Uh-huh.
Usually get out 3 days a month or so. I'm gone 12 hours, have a Starlink, and I'm still working.
You are a workaholic.
I am an absolute workaholic.
Yeah.
I've been this way my whole career.
Yeah. Well, you're killing it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, like what I do.
I am so excited about the situation, and John, am ready to break another record.
Yeah, well, we will.
I want to be on your list.
We will break another record. I know we will.